Let's start with the first question on our assignment. In the knowledge section, it says find the equation of the tangent to y equals e to the power of sine x. Well, I'm mixing exponentials and trigs there. Sounds like fun. At the point 0 and 1. So we already have a point. Right? But if we want to find the equation of the tangent, we need to know the slope as well. So to find the slope, we need to first find the derivative of this. So dy by dx. Okay, derivative of a natural exponent is first that natural exponent, e to the sine x. And then we're going to multiply that by the derivative of this function in the exponent, sine x. And the derivative of sine x is cos x. So there's our derivative. And we want to know the slope of this function. And so to figure that out, we're going to find the derivative at that value of x right there, 0. So at x equals 0, well, sine of 0 is 0, and e to the power of 0 is just 1. So we have a 1 here, and the cos of 0 is 1. So 1 times 1. So the derivative is 1, meaning the slope is going to be 1. So we can find in our equation then, right? We can use this formula, y minus y naught over x minus x naught, where our slope is 1. Y minus our y coordinate here is 1. All over x minus our x known coordinate here, which is 0. Okay, rearranging that, we get y equals x plus 1. There's the equation. Question 2 says we have this trig function, y equals 2 cos x plus sine 2x. And it says find the second derivative at x equals pi over 4. Okay. First I have a question about question 1. Could I just use y equals mx plus b instead? Yeah, of course. Over here you can use y equals mx plus b. Right? You plug in your y coordinate and your x coordinate, okay, and your slope, and solve for b. Right? That's another way of doing it. You'll get the same answer. Alright, so back to question 2. We want to find the second derivative. So let's start with the first derivative. So y prime. Okay, here we have a 2. That's just a coefficient out front, so that's going to stay where it is. And then the derivative of cos x is negative sine x. So we're going to be left with negative 2 sine x. And then we have plus the sine of 2x. So the derivative of that will be the derivative of sine 2x is cos 2x. And then we multiply by the derivative of this function inside this trig function here, 2x. We did that here as well, but the derivative of x is just 1. And multiplying by 1 isn't going to change anything, but here the derivative is 2, so we're going to multiply by 2. So I'm going to put that out in front. And then we need to find the second derivative. Alright, so the second derivative, derivative of sine is cosine. So the negative 2 out in front just stays there. So we're left with negative 2 cos x. And over here, the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So we're left with negative sine of 2x. And then if we multiply by 2 again, we get 2 times our 2, which is 4. So there's our second derivative. Then it says to solve for the second derivative at x equals pi over 4. So at x equals pi over 4, our second derivative is minus 2. And you're just going to have to, you can plug it on your calculator if you want, just remember what radians are. Remember, your calculator needs to be in radians, not degrees. Or if you remember your special angles, the cos of pi over 4 is just root 2 over 2. Minus 4 times the sine of, this is 2 times pi over 4, right? Which would be pi over 2. And so that would just be 1. Right, simplifying a little bit, we get minus root 2 minus 4, which is approximately some value. You can check that on your calculator. So question 3 says find the tangent. So we need to find out where this tangent occurs on the curve y equals 2e to the x plus the square root of e. That is perpendicular to that line. So we're looking for a coordinate. Where on this graph do we get a tangent that is perpendicular to this line? So if it's perpendicular to this line, we can figure out what the slope is. So let's rearrange this to y slope intercept form. So we'll get 2y equals negative x, or just y equals negative 1/2 x. So the slope of this line is negative 1/2. But the slope we're interested, the slope of the tangent, is perpendicular to this. So we're going to take the negative reciprocal. And the negative reciprocal of minus 1/2 becomes positive 2. So the slope we want is 2. So let's go back to this curve here. And let's find the derivative. dy by dx. Alright, so the derivative of 2e to the x is simply 2e to the x. And then you multiply by the derivative of x, which is just 1. And then this is just a constant. The derivative of any constant is 0. Alright, so there's the derivative. And we know where this tangent occurs, the derivative is going to equal 2. Right? That's the slope. Remember, derivative tells you what the value of the slope is at that point. So we just need to figure out where is this true. Well, we can simplify this a little bit, get rid of the 2's on both sides, and we just have e to the x equals 1. That is only going to occur when x equals 0. So there's our x coordinate. We need to still find the y coordinate. So what we're going to do is we are going to take that x coordinate, put it back into the original function to figure out what the y coordinate is. So we have y equals 2e to the x, which is 0, plus the square root of e. So when we do that, e to the 0 is just 1, so we're just left with 2, plus the root of e. So our tangent occurs at the point 0 and 2 plus root e. So this application question says, the horizontal displacement of a swinging pendulum is given by this function. X, which is a function of time, is 1.5 times the cos of time, times e to the power of minus 0.05 time, where x is the horizontal displacement in centimeters. So you have a pendulum like this. Oh, it's a terrible pendulum. Okay, well, it's going to go back and forth like this. But this is telling us here our horizontal displacement going back and forth like this. That's what x of t is actually telling us. All right, in centimeters. From the lowest point on the swing, right here, as a function of time in seconds as it goes back and forth. Determine the greatest speed the pendulum will reach. Okay, so you have a couple ways of doing this. There's the hard way and then there's the easy way. The hard way would be to find the second derivative and set it equal to 0 to see when the first derivative is a max or a minimum, right? Because you want to figure out where velocity is a maximum. You could, that's like really tough to do, but you could always use Desmos and graph the function, the first derivative and the second derivative, and analyze those graphs to see where it occurs. Or if you have some basic physics knowledge, you'll probably know that maximum speed occurs right there at that center position where this is true. Okay, so speed's going to be a maximum here. So if you look at this equation, let me write down the function here, times the cos of t e to the minus 0.05 t. So speed will be a maximum at this point. And so when does this equal 0? When is this true? Well, it looks like that's going to be true when t equals pi over 2. Because if you have pi over 2 right here, cos of pi over 2 is 0. So that's when it's going to be true. I mean, it's periodic, so it's going to be true many, many, many times. But if you did plot this function in Desmos, you would see that it's actually a damped function, meaning it's getting, well, the period doesn't change, but the amplitude is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the speed is going to be highest at the very first occurrence, which would be pi over 2. That's the very first time that t will become 0. And not t will become 0, but the function will become 0. So to figure out what that speed is then, we need to figure out first a function for that speed. And the function for that speed is the derivative of its position. So we need to find that derivative. Alright, so we have 1.5 times e to the minus 0.05 all times by minus the sine of t minus 0.05 cos of t. Okay, I did that in one step. If you want to do it in a couple steps, you just have to remember that you can pull your constant right out, and then you have a product rule of this times this. Then all we need to do is figure out what that speed is by substituting pi over 2. And if you do that, you get minus 1.39 centimeters per second. The negative doesn't matter, it's just a direction. So the speed's going to be 1.39 centimeters per second. So for this one, it tells us the derivative function, which is 5 to the power of 2x minus 1. It says, well, what's the original function? So we're going to have to integrate that. And so integrating this one, we get 5 to the 2x minus 1. And then instead of multiplying by the ln of 5, because that's what you would do if you were finding the derivative, we're going to divide by that. And then instead of multiplying by the derivative of the exponent, we're going to divide by it, right? Remember, integration is the exact opposite. So times by 2. All right. There we go. And you can even check this. So if this is the original function, and if you wanted to find the derivative of the original function, so let's double check f prime of x. Okay, well, to find the derivative of this, it's just this, 2x minus 1. That's just a constant down here, so we'll leave it there. And then we can simply multiply by the ln of 5 and multiply by the derivative of the exponent, which is 2. Look, all those cancel, and we're left with what we're supposed to be with. Now, don't forget, you'd also want to put that plus c in there, because if you find the derivative of this, you're still going to end up with that, right, for our indefinite integrals. So the last question says, explain in your own words how you would determine the absolute extreme values of this function 2 sine 4x, where x must be between 0 and pi. And then find all those absolute extreme values. Well, to find extreme values, you need to find where the first derivative equals 0. Okay, so let's start with that. So we need to find the first derivative. So the first derivative is just going to be 2, right? That coefficient out in front. And derivative of sine is cos, so times the cos of 4x. and then we need to multiply that by the derivative of 4x, which is just 4. But I can bring that out in front, because 4 times this 2 out in front will give me a new coefficient of 8. So there's our derivative, and we have to figure out where it equals 0. Everywhere it equals 0 between x values of 0 and pi. So first, where is cos going to equal 0? Well, cos will equal 0 at pi over 2, right? Or at 3 pi over 2, right? And so on and so on and so on. But we also have the cos of 4x. So when are we first going to get pi over 2? Well, if x equals pi over 8, pi over 8 times 4 is pi over 2. So that's going to give us our first 0 value. Okay, the next one, 3 pi over 8. 3 pi over 8 times 4, right, is going to give us 3 pi over 2. Right? That's also where cos equals 0, right? If you remember, right, if this is 0 or 2 pi, this is pi over 2. So it's going to equal 0 here, pi, and 3 pi over 2. It's going to equal 0 here. And as we continue to go around and around, it's going to equal 0 at those two points there. So we have to do this between 0 and pi. So far I haven't gotten up to pi. I've only gotten up to 3 pi over 8. So we can keep going. 5 pi over 8. 7 pi over 8. The next one would be 9 pi over 8, but that's beyond pi. It's beyond our domain there. So we're done. Okay. All right. So this is where the extreme values are going to occur. It says the absolute extreme values, so we can also look at 0 and pi as well to see what those values are. But we do have to test those values. So we're going to need to figure out what the function is, say at 0. We're going to need to figure out what the function is at pi over 8, and so on, and so on, and so on. We have 3 pi over 8, 5 pi over 8, 7 pi over 8, and pi, which is our endpoint, since it says all absolute extremes. And we just plug these back into our original function, and we'll get our values. Well, the endpoints, 0 and pi, that's just going to give you values of 0. And if we plug in pi over 8 in here, we're going to get 2, right? Because it just equals 1 times by 2. And then negative 2, 2, and negative 2.